Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Excellency Light League action. Game number 3, VBU Neon versus GRIN Reapers. It has been a 2-0 sweep for the Reapers so far. They are looking to be able to go for a 3-0 day here up against VBU Neon, Kendo. And we're getting into the ban phase for game number 3 now. Malzahar, Cassidy going to be banned out by VBU, and it's going to be the same bans it looks like for GRIN Reapers. Mordekaiser, Tristana coming out, and the early banning phase.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me yet again. They do ban the Caitlyn. Again, 70.5% win rate for Travis on Caitlyn. That is ridiculous. Someone nerf Travis. Forget the nerf on Caitlyn at that point. Just get the man. Get him a little bit of, negative damage. Something to put a little balance in there. VBU Neon gonna be the first one to jump on the Trundle, and that'll be your initial change going into game number 3.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper has done a phenomenal job on the Trundle in the last 2 games here in the league. He is now looking to be able to go on a different jungler here today, with Neon immediately picking up the Troll King in this one. So, I mean, I didn't think that Jungkook played too poorly against the Trundle as a Shyvana, but taking out the Trundle means that the Lilia is going to be the immediate counter pick coming in from GRIN.
And this is something that Anderson Cooper has played before. That being said, it would not surprise me if GRIN Reapers played a little Lilia top, just for the fun of it. I don't know. I've seen both be very, very good in Lilia top lane, can flex extremely well. We do see them pick up the Blitzcrank in the wing, and once again, we know how good Bully is on the crank. The very, very pulling performance in game 2.
A pulling for performance indeed, but it wasn't necessarily a bullying game. He wasn't it wasn't just like, I'm gonna play Blitzcrank and I'm the one that everyone has to revolve around and you guys all suck and I'm gonna pull you in and it's gonna be game over. But no, it wasn't like that. You know, Bully had some difficulty as the Blitzcrank in game number 2. Neon, however, going to respond with their own Hookmaster of their own. The Nautilus going to get picked up for Cheese Mix, who arguably, this is his best champion that he has played, aside from the Alistair, here in the league so far, and I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table here in game number 3, paired up with the Jinx.
Yeah, this is a different look from VBU Neon right now, and I really like it. GRIN Reaper's going to lock in potentially the Alawi. That was a very good pick up for Feathers and Fur. If that ends up being what is locked in, we know the Lilia is in the jungle. We know that Feathers and Fur is going to be on that Alawi. And what surprised me more than anything else is just how much extra AoE damage you can get on an Alawi who has time to set up in the lane or set up themselves in a given battle. This is what really, for the most part, VBU Neon made to make sure that they are in advance, getting ahead of these objectives, because the Alawi in the team fights at the tail end of game number 2 was crucial. It was critical. It dealt a large, significant amount of damage.
It was a 100 CS advantage for Feathers and Fur against Para04 near the end of the game. Almost 300 CS at the 33-minute mark for the GRIN Reapers top laner, performing exceptionally well on the Alawi. I mean, just split pushing the entire game, uninhibited. Saw him pick up towers in the bot lane, towers in the top lane, towers in the mid lane. She was everywhere, picking up structures and objectives. And now it's going to be up to VBU Neon to be able to have a good strategy against it. Para04 has the opportunity to choose whatever champion he wants into the jungler, into his top laner. So I'm excited to see what that means for them. A really long pick phase, or pretty long ban phases coming in from GRIN, really trying to be able to decide and establish what exactly they're trying to go for. Oh, it does look like we are going to get a restart of the draft. The first 3 champions are locked in, obviously. But if you guys know draft flow, you guys know how finicky it can be. So
Yeah.
just a moment, guys. We'll reset the draft and then we'll be back into it. Nothing too crazy there, but taking a look at what we've got here: Trundle, Nautilus, Jinx, Lilia, Blitzcrank, Alawi going to be picked up for Grin Reapers. I mean, already your top laner and your jungler going to be picked up for Grin. Para 04 going to have a really good counter to it in order to be able to utilize potentially whatever disadvantages the Alawi is going to have. I just don't know what Para 04 has available to be able to go up against it and do well.
The one thing that we have not seen yet because it's been banned out almost every time is the Mord. And I wish we could see said Mordekaiser because that is by far Para's best game or best character. I'd like to see the one that Para's been working on probably the most, and I'd like to see the set going into potentially the Alawi. Not necessarily because of any one given thing. I do think there's a little bit to behold when you get that extra bit of shielding on the haymaker, when you're able to bring things in with the face breaker. It could create a little more of elongated battle between themselves and the Alawi. And then once you're able to burst the Alawi out, that could be where they pick up everything. I don't think it's a matter of can I outlive this Alawi, because I think the first 15 minutes of game number 2 told us, yeah, you put Para in any situation. Para's going to be able to last as long as possible. Set slowly becoming a comfort pick for Para. I kind of want to see it.
Well, I mean, maybe he does pick that up. I mean, that would be, I think, a pretty decent choice. It would mean, for Neon, they've got to be able to get, a high damage dealer
Yeah.
mage coming in the mid lane, especially with your Trundle and your Nautilus already picked up. The Jinx is going to be able to deal damage as the game progresses, going to be just fine, being, extremely strong. Again, another mid to late game champion going to be available for them. But, at the end of the day, I mean, just kind of looking at the pools here, I don't know what mid laner we don't know what mid laner either of these players are going to go for. Does VBU Neon decide to go for potentially a Seraphine again, or do they pick up something different here in this game number 3? I thought that Crow did decently well. I thought that she performed, decently. Did have some really nice encores. There just wasn't a follow up for VBU Neon to be able to use it effectively. And so I'm excited to see what that brings to the table here, as it does look like we are ready to get back into the pick and ban phase. The first couple of picks can be picked up for both these players now, and then we're going to get into the second round of the draft in just a moment. See what Grin Reapers is going to ban out first.
And I get the feeling that we are going to see a Seraphine ban just right off the bat. You don't want Merciful Crow on what is her probably favorite pick there in the mid. You may even also get an Anivia ban, although I don't think that it's enough damage. I kind of would like to see the Ziggs again. But whether it be something that you threw in a different role, I'm not outside the realms of possibility. Throw Ziggs top lane just for the fun of it. See what happens.
Now,
Ah,
I
goodness.
don't.
I'm a mad lad.
You are a mad lad. I just don't think that that's the right choice at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think, Grin Reapers has had dominant wins against VBU Neon. It's definitely been closer than I think for Comfort. But they are planning on being able to win this one, go 8-1 in the bracket here today. If they're able to take, or in the bracket so far in the split, they are looking to be able to go for that one. But
Okay.
moving into the ban phase now, Camille going to get taken away from Para on the side of Grin, and then VBU Neon going to take away the Ezreal that Travis was able to use pretty well in game number 2.
Looks like they're banning out kind of counterish picks. Ah, there's the set ban.
Yeah. Good choice there. You know, really limit what has been maybe your weaker side lane. The player with the least amount of champion pool available. Take away the set and now really force VBU Neon into a shallow pool of different
Hmm.
champions. Do they pick up the Mundo again? Galio actually going to get taken away by Billy Willard. We haven't seen him play it yet, but that does mean, you know, we've got the Victor still on the table, the Oriana still on the table, and it's going to be fun to see Travis picking up the Vayne.
Hmm. Okay. I'm liking where this is going. At least first time we get to see Vayne on the day. And first time I've seen Vayne here in Excellency. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just the straight damage, a little bit of mobility there. Definitely going to be an interesting matchup going into the Jinx, of course. But you have your hook and you have your pure damage. Now, what are VBU Neon going to pick up? The Karma.
Oh, I love the Karma
Interesting.
pick. You know, giving a little bit more support, a little bit more AP coming in for the Jinx to be able to survive, a little bit more shielding as well. But now final pick coming in, it's going to be for Para 04. Unless Para's going in for the Karma. I mean, I've seen Tarp Karma
Yeah.
before. And so, I mean, that would not be a terrible pick, but it is going to be the Ornn for VBU Neon, really focusing towards the late game here. I don't like the pick, Kendo. I mean, maybe there just wasn't any other option for Para in this game, but you know, now you're putting in 3 tanks for this Vayne to be able to just have a field day with. It's gonna be a really good game, I feel like, for Travis here in game 3.
And then also, if you're allowing in Blitzcrank, just build armor. I mean, that entire lineup that you're looking at, outside of potentially the Karma top lane, that is no longer an issue, no longer something that could go down. It's predominantly damage. Any you're not going to see any ability power coming out of this comp, and it's definitely not, it's not going to be good for VPU Neon by the look of it. I sense danger ahead.
I sense danger as well. I mean, we won't know until we actually get into the game, you know, how it does play out. The Graves is going to be the final pick there for Billy Willard in the mid lane. So it's a little bit more of an A heavy composition going to be available. Lilia obviously going to be a little bit more AP as the game progresses. Blitzcrank, depending on if he decides to go tank side or if he decides to go AP, could still build some magic damage as well. And so Grin Reapers, a lot of poke damage, a lot of ability to really be able to deny VBU Neon the ability to get to that backline, get to that Graves, get to that Vayne. Once they get involved, they've got some good engage coming in with the Blitzcrank. The only issue that I'm seeing, though, is there's not really a lot of health. Aside from
Yeah.
the Alawi, that's going to build a little bit more of a bruiser, and the Blitzcrank, who's obviously going to, or I would say mostly obviously, going to be building a tank. I mean, there's very little front line that's going to be able to defend against this. And if we get the CC landed onto the Vayne and onto the Graves, there's not particularly a lot of peel that's available for these very stationary, squishy marksman targets on Grin Reapers. VBU Neon could potentially have a good time.
Yep, they could potentially, but that's why we play the battle out. This is why we go to the Rift for everything, because all of it, the analytics, the talking about it can go downhill or uphill either way. We'll find out. I'm looking forward to it. I want to give a quick update, though. We do have some updates coming in. Lotus Black and Cape Dogs Elite Unleashed have gone through 2 of their games so far. Cape Dogs are giving Lotus Black the business thus far. A come from behind win for Lotus Black in game number 1, and a Cape Dogs victory in game number 2, as that is going to go to a
Wow.
decisive 3rd game. That is very interesting. DA Obsidian, no problem with the CB Stonk squad. They go 3-0.
Wow, really great game coming in. That's huge for Cape Dogs Unleashed, and that really sets up a very interesting finish here in the bracket. That is the first loss there for Lotus Black. Really cool to see. Congratulations there to Cape Dogs Unleashed. I mean, you know, that still puts them at, well, depending on how this game goes, not necessarily at the best place in the bracket, in the standings, but anytime that you're able to get a win against Lotus Black, it's huge. So nicely done coming through from Cape Dogs. We'll see how game 3 plays out for them. But, you know, oh, man, Kendo, I'm a little sleepy, man. I'm a little sleepy. I don't know what's going on.
You don't know what's going on? Well, did you not have your coffee today? Specifically, that wonderful coffee.
Kendo, I've been so tired. I completely forgot. I've got my AM grind coffee ready to go in my cup, and I am super pumped to talk about AM grind. You see that elaborate ruse there? I wasn't really tired. I've been drinking my coffee here today. AM grind, going to be one of our sponsors here in the Light League. We really do appreciate you guys stopping by and trying out some of this amazing coffee that they've got. Freshly roasted, freshly ground. If you guys have got, you know, the ability to be able to make that happen, I certainly do, and it's delicious. It's obviously really good. I've had some myself. It's been quite a delicious taste. Comparatively to something like the Folgers, the F-tier Folgers coffee.
Whoa!
Yuck,
Whoa!
Kendo. Yuck.
We don't even bother mentioning those brands around here. It's AM Grind and AM Grind only. You gotta find it. You can have it on the rocks, my friend.
Ooh,
on the rocks.
That's true.
Yes, yes. Do you know what I mean, though? I'm talking about on the rocks. The wonderful flavor of AM Grind. Definitely check it out. All of these coffees are extremely gourmet. Select beans brought to you from various locations around the world. You could not ask for better flavor in your coffee. Freshly ground, most all of them coming from certified organic sources. And I just want to talk to you about On the Rocks just a little bit here. We got wonderful, wonderful flavors. And dadgummit.
Dadgummit, he says.
Dadgummit! I'm over here. I'm like trying to read off my little cue card, and my cue card goes dead. You know what? You know what? Here's the deal. My computer, my camera, I would have it drink AM Grind right now because I've had more issues with this computer today than I know what to do with. And if not for the coffee in my life, I wouldn't be able to get through the day. Call a barista, but not for us. We've got AM Grind. We're gonna be right back here on Excellency. This was an absolute train wreck on my part, Moose.
It's all right. You know, it's that AM grind deficit that you're not
exactly. You know what? I'm working on ordering it right now. I gotta get the On the Rocks flavor. It's the one that interests me the most. I'm like, oh,
make it happen.
Flavors.
Make it happen, man, Kendo. But we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna get back into game number 3 here in just a moment. Excellency Light League, sponsored by AM Grind. 10% off your order if you put in the promo code XLNC. But we're gonna be right back for game number 3 action here in just a moment. Stay tuned. everyone? We are live for game number 3, VBU Neon up against the GRIN Reapers here in this last of our 3 show matches here today, Kendo. My name is Mr. Moose. I am joined here at the desk by the one and only Kendo Man. It is going to be a fun game as always between both of these players. And we're going to get a little bit more shenanigans coming in from the GRIN Reapers, trying to go in for a rocket grab. Do they find it? They miss the ward there, Kendo, and the shenanigans have been stopped.
Oh, well, they tried. Angry bees all around. And they're going to hang out at the bush. I appreciate the shenanigans out of the GRIN Reapers. They are going full invade mode now, though.
Yeah,
that's vision. I think they're going to avoid anything crazy here.
Yep, that's the play. I love to see it. I don't know whether or not they are going to go in for a potential gank onto the, or a potential, steal coming in for the red buff. It does look like they're waiting for it. And so now, Jungkook's got to make a decision. Does he go back over to the bottom side of the rift? He hasn't seen anyone go back. And now they're looking to potentially go in. Uh-oh, Jungkook is wasting time. This could be disastrous for them. The ward is there. They know that he's waiting in the wings. Will they decide to go in for something, though? It is a 3v3. The rocket grab is going to land onto Turtle. He's going to flash away, but the ignite is there. It's first blood over to the bully.
Well, the bully finally living up to the name, and that is going to be a red buff stolen. Devastating start for VBU Neon. And now if you're Trundle, do you try to run across and divide this jungle up top to bottom?
I mean, maybe go for a little bit of vertical jungling here. I think that that's not a bad idea. But Anderson Cooper may be a little bit knowledgeable about that, going in for that insight. Taking a look at that play again, Kendo. I mean, what is there really to say except you shouldn't have been there if you're Forgotten Turtle.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been there if you are Forgotten Turtle, and the lack of vision. I'm blown away by the fact that we talk about the vision that VBU Neon have struggled with so many times, and yet it rears its head in so many different ways. This time in the early game, and now it soured my entire. It soured the entire game for me. I'm devastated.
Devastated, but not broken just yet. There is still definitely an opportunity for VBU Neon to come back from a little bit of a faulty first blood there. As we do get a little bit of damage onto Bully and onto Turtle. Just a back and forth trading coming through. Actually going to be GRIN Reapers winning that trade outright. And now, you got Anderson Cooper at the blue buff. You've got Jungkook already at the Scuttle Crab. He's going to get collapsed on by not only Willard, but also by Anderson Cooper. He does end up picking up the Scuttle Crab and will be able to get away from that one, taking a nice chunk of health out of the graves.
Yeah, that's a win, in my opinion. Jungkook getting away and now has a little bit of pressure and potential priority on the bot lane. I don't know that you want to camp that long potentially for a gank, but is really committed to this one.
Yep, gonna be committed for it. There is no ward coming in from GRIN Reaper, so they don't know that he is there. But he does decide to go away. We'll pick up his Krugs. The CS advantage because of that red buff now going to definitely be rearing its ugly head in for the GRIN Reapers, 27-16, as Anderson Cooper in the area as well, looking to make it a gank. Bully running forward, gonna try to get the grab. Flash gonna come in from Cooper, and it is gonna end up being the rocket grab landing onto Cheese Mix. Nicely done coming in from Bully there. Trav's gonna take a turret hit just for good measure, but now a 1-0 Blitzcrank and a 1-0 Vayne.
Do we get a counter gank out of the Trundle? Looking for the Lilia, doesn't go for it, and once again, Jungkook just spending too much time, hesitating a little too much, is gonna get punished for it on the back end. Travis deletes the Trundle from off the. That is literally the stealing of the Thunder. VBU Neon, this is a horrible start, and it's looking to get worse.
Unfortunate there coming in. Forgotten Turtle even going to get grabbed as he tries to get whatever CS he can out of that play. Oh my goodness, that back from Travis here on the Grin Reapers. Not only does he pick up his fully upgraded boots, but then also a longsword and control wards on top of that, man. I mean, that is rough to see. And we're going to take a look at that replay again as Cooper goes for the dragon, actually very low there. But regardless, I mean, yeah, Jungkook, I mean, no reason to be there in a 2v3 situation. Turtle, not enough damage, not enough power. Just going to end up giving his life away over to the Grin Reapers. I mean, a decent use of the Pillar of Frost there, but unable to get anything except death against him.
It wasn't a good situation all the way around, and now we're looking at even more bad situations as VBU Neon completely behind in every lane but the mid. The Karma still managing to keep up with a Graves, though, that has the serrated Dirk. Graves is going to be putting in a little more damage, has managed to get a back already, as well as the gold from the assist. And despite Merciful Crow's efforts, things are going to go downhill from here.
It's still, we're not there yet. I mean, it's 3-0. I'm still holding out hope. 1,000 gold advantage for the Reapers right now, though, as they look to continue to keep this advantages going. Orin Para 04 is doing a decent job. I mean, a little bit behind in CS against Feathers and Fur, but that is to be expected in the early game. I mean, Para 04 was really taxed on the draft phase here. Going to get a lot of bans picked up against him. And now he's going to have, again, a really rough time against this Alawi. Going to end up letting that one go through yet again. And now going to be having to try to be able to defend himself against the test of faith. I mean, looking at right now, I mean, everyone doing well as Bully picks up another rocket grab. Going to be Turtle having to flash away, going to use the heal as well. But this time, Jungkook is in the area. Travis going to flash forward and might actually give his life away there. A misplay coming in from the Reapers as Jungkook gets the shutdown.
I do appreciate Travis going for Forgotten Turtle, trying to get the 1v1, or 1-for-1. Now Forgotten Turtle, the one pushed up too far. The miss, however, from the Swirl Seed does not hit, and it could have been even worse for VBU Neon. They are slowly bringing it back, but this Ornn, this is bullying in the top lane at this point. It feels bad, man.
Yeah, this is a rough one for Para 04 right now. The CS lead is at 23 at this point and counting. For the Reaper's top laner. To pick up that Corrupting Potion. Actually, Ornn going to pick up that early Bramble Best using his passive there. Hasn't gone back yet, still has a teleport ready to go. Just keeps on getting hit by that Test of Faith and just loses more and more health out of that one, which makes it difficult for him to be able to go for even CS. He's going to have to try to dash away. Doesn't get hit by the Tentacle. We'll be just fine. We'll be able to survive another Test of Faith yet again, but I mean, already, I think, what is that, 2 turret plates for Feathers and Fur right now in the top lane. That is huge early game pressure coming in. Bottom lane, though, gonna be the main question here coming in for both of these teams. They want to be able to get early advantages for both these ADCs, and right now, I mean, a little bit of pressure coming in from Neon, but at the end of the day, the gold lead is still there for the Reapers.
It is still there for the Reapers. We are going to see the Alawi get back and pick up even more advantage over the Ornn. And yeah, this is bullying at its finest, my friend. It's credit to Para, staying safe, managing to keep themselves in this matchup the entirety of it. But it's still dire straits.
Yeah, and so, I mean, now with the early advantages, the Dragon going to get picked up by the Reapers already. That Ocean Drake going to be sneaked away. VBU Neon going to give up now another objective, maybe. But they are going to be going for the Rift Herald right now. Trying to be able to get that taken care of. If they're able to get that one, they could potentially stop the push from Feathers and Fur, but still going to be able to be a strong advantage there. Makes it an objective, even game. VBU Neon picking up a nice crucial Herald. Like you said, very crucial indeed. You know, I saw the Trundle, and I was like, that's the Reaper's Trundle, right? That's Cooper. But no, he's playing as the Lilia today. 0-0 and 3 as Jungkook sees the Lilia and the Blitzcrank, just runs away. Bully trying to go for the rocket grab, swing and a miss.
Here's my question for you, and I think we're on the same mental page. Where do you drop that? You got the early Herald. You got plenty of time to choose where you want to position it. Where do you go?
I don't know, but Travis takes a kill against Turtle, and Turtle gets a quick back to base. That was a beautiful gank coming in from the Reapers yet again. Anderson Cooper going to use the Lilting Lullaby to get the sleep onto both the Nautilus and the Jinx, and will end up picking up Dragon number 2 here. A little bit of damage. Jungkook is in the area, but the smite is there for Cooper to be able to pick up that kill onto the Dragon. It is a Cloud Soul for game number 3 as well. But yeah, I mean, so far, Dragons have been going in favor of GRIN Reapers. Rift Herald is still there for VBU Neon. But let's take a look at that gank again. Really pinpoint what went wrong there for VBU.
What went wrong there was just not... There it is. Okay. What went wrong was a soft commit into a lack of vision. And it was Forgotten Turtle who paid the price with the death on that one. Once again, we are seeing VBU Neon forced into reacting. They are going to drop the Rift Herald on the bot lane. The division of the gold, not going to be very good for everybody involved. But, I mean, every little bit helps.
Teleport going to come in from Merciful Crow, making it a 4v3 here. They're not going to continue to push forward, though, so the teleport kind of wasted coming in from Crow. They'll have to walk back over to the mid lane. But yeah, got 4 turret plates out of that one, though. Turtle's going to love that extra little bit of gold in his pocket, but we'll see if they are able to continue to keep it going. The rocket grab, however, going to land into the Condemn. Travis going to pick up the kill against the Jinx.
This is going worse and worse for the Jinx and Forgotten Turtle. The call has been for Forgotten Turtle to pop off. This is not the way you want to pop off. They are continuing to bully. It's going to be a Trolls victory for Jungkook, but might not get away with it as the 1-for-1 comes through. Travis will manage to continue that volley.
And now with Feathers and Fur in the top lane, almost picking up the last turret plate there. Makes that 1-for-1. You're absolutely right. Yes, you do get the kill on the Bully, but it's Travis that's the one that gets the better deal out of that one. Let's take a look at that one again, because you see, you know, the push forward coming in from Travis and Bully. No rocket grab is available for the Blitzcrank just yet, and we do get a nice Pillar of Frost onto Travis into the nice ultimate from the Nautilus, and so they end up focusing onto the Blitzcrank. But whenever you focus on support, the ADC is just able to have a field day, and they are able to pick up the kill. Support for jungler is never a trade you want.
No, you definitely don't want that, especially with your jungler in Jungkook, who's normally very focused on his CS, this far behind. 30 CS behind, missing 2 dragons. This is not where you want to be if you're VBU Neon, especially with the gap that is looming large in the top lane. Again, Para is not dying, refusing to overcommit against the Alawi, but Alawi's a bully. Doesn't care. Will continue to take the CS, take the lunch money of this Ornn, and prevent it from really fully realizing itself down the road.
A lot of damage onto Travis, though. The exhaust is going to land as we get Forgotten Turtle trying to be able to get the damage onto Travis here. Final hour is used along with the flash, but the save coming in from Bully. Anchor is going to land. Bully's going to have to use his passive shield. Will they be able to get out of this one? They will, and the rocket grab does not land on the cheese mix. Meanwhile, in the top lane, finally, Jungkook making an appearance, and it will be Merciful Crow there as well, picking up the kill against the Alawi.
So you're saying there is a chance, Moose, is we're going to see an exchange of objectives, turrets, the whole 9 here, out of these two teams, and I can't help but feel that the Grin Reapers are getting the better of the exchange. They do have 2 turrets down already. They do have superior vision between the two teams, and we only have 46 seconds until the next dragon. That's a Cloud Drake and Cloud Soul. And once again, we see the Grin Reapers. They're set up early, they're set up often. We got to pause.
Yes, so we'll get that taken care of here in just a moment, but that gives us kind of an idea of where we stand right now. A 4,000 gold advantage for the Reapers at the around 16-minute mark. VBU Neon is not out of the game, but, you know, the gold lead, I mean, pretty much over half of that gold advantage is coming in for Feathers and Fur. 6,800 gold compared to 45 for Para 04. It is a 2,300 gold advantage there. A little bit of an advantage gold-wise coming in from Jun Coop against Anderson Cooper, especially since he was able to get that shutdown there. But man, I mean, right now, Grin Reaper's having a phenomenal early game. Games number 1 and 2, VBU Neon was able to keep it even, keep it fun. But unfortunately now, game number 3 is seeing Grin Reapers on top at the mid-game point.
Yeah, and it's not pretty thus far for VBU Neon in what is I almost caution it as a must-win against the Grin Reapers. You don't want to fall down to 1-8 on the season. It doesn't matter who you are. That is a terrible start. And while they are learning, while they are adjusting, while they are getting better, seemingly every single game they play and every single match, it doesn't bode well for playoffs down the road. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. I do like what we're seeing, though. They are gathering themselves to this dragon. We noticed as we are going back in, the unpause seeing its way through. They do have presence around the dragon. It's just they do not have the vision with the 22 seconds before. And we may see combat early on in it. Do we have another pause?
So I don't know, but regardless,
Interesting.
I mean, at this point, you got Feathers and Fur.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Area. Shout out to the league client getting everything reset. There's the pause actually coming in on the client side to be able to get it back to normal. Feathers and Fur is going to stay in the top lane. That could most likely confirm that they are able to get that tier 2 tower again. So Feathers and Fur able to do exactly what he was able to do in game number 2 with the Alawi, and they're going to just give up the dragon there. Means that Feathers and Fur is going to be able to get a lot of damage onto that tier 2 tower. Now, what does VBU Neon do to respond? No teleport coming in from Para 04 is going to go back and hold on to it for the time being. Meanwhile, the Grin Reaper is saying, well, hey, you're not in the top side of the rift. We're going to take the Rift Herald and get that objective, making it a 1 objective for 1 objective game. Does Feathers and Fur pick up the turret? He does. And now in the mid lane, the nice rocket grab onto Jun Coop. A lot of damage onto the troll. Billy Willard picks up the kill. And it's Anderson Cooper with the strike to pick up 2.
That is glorious. I want to go back to where this all started, though, and that is with the decision to give the dragon to take priority on the Rift Herald, and now they are going to take the utmost priority in tower advantage. Shelly, with 1 down, gonna look to take another, will take most of that inhibitor turret with them. That is a 2 for 0, as well as a turret and a half. Love the Grin Reaper's decision making here.
That was fantastic. Phenomenal effort coming in from the Reapers. And even though Neon knew what was going on, they still end up getting the short end of the stick. Let's take a look at that one again there, Kendo. A really solid performance coming in from the Reapers as they pick up even more advantage.
And immediately after grabbing the Rift Herald, what do? Well, you find the lane where most everybody is. You know that some of them went back, and then you go all in on them. Love the damage coming out. The extra strike from the Lilia was executed perfectly. And VBU Neon left stunned yet again, falling behind both in the turrets as well as the gold count. The disparity getting larger and larger. We're now going to see the lanes shift a little bit. The Alawi looking to split push that bot lane. That is a beast that you do not want to deal with if you're anyone on VBU Neon. Oh no, a pick!
Cheesemix going to end up getting hit by the rocket grab, but will be just fine. Has enough health to be able to get away from that one. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we've got Jungkook looking to be able to survive what was a failed attempt at a kill against Feathers and Fur. Merciful Crow will be there to be able to get the shielding and the defense, but unfortunately, with Feathers and Fur now 100 CS in the lead, I mean, she's just doing her own thing, and now the rest of GRIN Reapers is top lane in the 4v3. Bully's going to be looking to maybe go for a rocket grab. Nope. Just going to be able to pick up the first of the 3 inhibitor towers. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Feathers and Fur picks up the outer turret.
All of this developing over one decision to not take a dragon. And if you're VBU Neon watching this back, take note. You don't have to take every single objective. You have to be smart about your battle selection. Brilliance so far from the GRIN Reapers, and they look to be setting up for the Baron.
I mean, that's the next objective that is there. Look at the vision available for GRIN Reapers. I mean, they already know where VBU Neon could potentially be coming from. They've got control wards around the rift, around that top side of the jungle for VBU. So they're feeling comfortable, and they're actually going to start the Baron. Merciful Crow is in the bottom lane. He does have teleport, but maybe they spotted Jungkook in that bottom lane as well. They know that he's not there, so this is going to potentially be a very big Baron for the Reapers at the 20-minute mark. Looking to potentially go for it. Merciful Crow is going in for the teleport, so it is now a 5v4. Rocket Grab is going to land from Bully into the Static Shock, and now Ornn going to get condemned away from his headbutt. Going to try to get the kill onto Travis, though. A lot of damage onto the Vayne, but he's not dead just yet. And now Para04 is on the ropes, going to end up going down. Travis going to take that kill, going to go onto a rampage. As we get the Super Mega Death Rocket coming in from the Jinx, not really able to do anything in that fight, and GRIN Reapers makes it a 1-for-0, and now they go for the Baron.
That being said, you can get a counter jungle opportunity here if you're VBU Neon. You know that they're going to win the Baron. Set yourself up as soon as possible for the Dragon, and don't let them have both objectives. Otherwise, you're finished.
So let's take a look at that fight again there, Kendo. Good play coming in from GRIN Reapers, and they pick up the Baron off of that as well.
It feels so wrong when you force it this hard. I love the push on the condemn to keep the Ornn off of the secondary push in the headbutt of the call. It's beautiful to see. They executed it well and executed the Ornn in the process. At this point, they're taking what they can, and they are not giving an inch. They didn't give the Dragon either.
No, they did not, and they've gained more than an inch. They've gained probably 15 miles at this point. Half marathon of distance against VBU Neon. It is a 10,000 gold advantage, a 4,000 gold lead for Feathers and Fur on the Alawi. Having a breakout performance in this game, only 3 kills for VBU Neon. No deaths on the Graves, no deaths on the Lilia. The Baron buffed GRIN Reaper is going to end up picking up the last inner turret of the game, and now they're looking to go in for an inhibitor turret as well. Feathers and Fur is in the top lane, just going to be able to get the inhibitor to go down, most likely against Para04. You can't really do anything against him. 100 CS behind. The rest of GRIN Reapers looking to go into the bottom lane, continuing to push that forward, continuing to get the minions down, looking to be able to go for a rocket grab potentially, and there's the obliteration onto both Jungkook and Para04. What a beautiful leap of faith. It is now a 5v3 going to the mid lane, trying to be able to get the last inhibitor tower to go down. Feathers and Fur is just way too in the lead now as he picks up a double kill all on his own. GRIN Reapers now closing in on a 3-0 sweep against VBU Neon. Kendo, what are they going to be able to do? I don't think much of anything in this fight.
At this point, even a call to a Forge God is not going to do anything. Pray all you want. This one is all but over. The teleport back, they can keep the pressure on. It's a 5v5, but even if you do not win this individual battle, you are still gonna win the war, having everything down. It is a 5v3. The Nexus is calling. Brilliant from the GRIN Reapers as they are going to be 3-0 champions of week number 3.
VBU Neon did not stand a chance against the Alawi. They banded game number 1, and games 2 and 3, Feathers and Fur was absolutely dominant. Another standout performance coming in from the Alawi. Another 100 CS advantage against Para 04. 12,000 gold on the Rift. More than both Para 04 and Lo-Fi Cheese Mix combined. You could split that up between any two members there on VBU Neon, and they're just barely able to match what the Alawi has at the 24-minute mark. This was a phenomenal game coming in from the GRIN Reapers. They're going to go 3-0 in this series and will be 8-1 in the standings now.
Feathers and Fur on Alawi just became a signature to watch pick. In that double kill at the tail end, that's dominance. You gotta love that. I was hoping that we would get a potential push right back. You sent 2 to try to defend against the raid boss, but Alawi catching so much damage in the AoE of those tentacle smashes. My goodness, that is so rough to go up against. In the end, VBU Neon did show us that, yes, they are a team that are going to continue to improve. I think they had much better objective control. I think they even had much better vision. The thing is, they're going to have to go from reacting to teams to setting their own pace against teams. And they are a team with a lot of potential. The problem is, it was squashed this time by the GRIN Reapers, who have proven themselves to be one of the best teams within Excellency Light League.
And yeah, a great game, great performance coming in from the Reapers all around. Really, really nicely done. A great performance coming through. I mean, there's really nothing left to say. That was just a obliterating game coming in from the GRIN Reapers, having everything go their way from the first blood against Forgotten Turtle to the double kill at the very end of the game for Feathers and Fur. It was just flawless execution coming in from GRIN Reapers. VBU Neon, they've got a lot of work to do now. It's going to be a Himalayan effort coming back from a 7-loss game right now. Now 1-8 in the bracket standings here today. That's going to be a rough game for sure, but looks like we are going to be getting an interview here in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll get into that in just a second. See you guys in a bit.